Hey, so tomorrow is Giving Tuesday. And I've been thinking about like how we wanted to be able to um, ask the community that we are working with, the community that we are offering um, this sacred storytelling work to support us, because folk support us in so many ways, right? And and I didn't want to do one of those things where I created a pie chart to show you all like our impact and what we do. I didn't want to do graphs. I didn't want to like list out all the tangible offerings that we make. I didn't want to do that because anybody who is listening to this message or engages with our social media in any shape or form or listens to the podcast or anything that we do kind of has a bead on what it is that we are offering. So I wanted to pose it in a different way. I wanted to pose the opportunity to resource work that is being held and carried by Black hands and Black hearts. The team that I work with at the Black Girls Guide is an intergenerational team. It's myself, Lee, Mariah, and Taryn. And all of the work that is being done and held by the team is being held by Black women, Black femmes, Black genderqueer folk, cis het folk, like ranging in age from early 30s to mid 50s. And that is important. It's important because we are very, very serious about creating sacred space that's intergenerational and the way we do our work to be intergenerational. Whenever we partner with a creative, we're always wanting it to be an intergenerational partnership so we can learn from each other, we can vibe off each other. Our most recent zine with Ariel Smith, who's a folklorist who I've known since she was 8 years old. That was really important for she and I to come together to think about these folkloric tales together from my perspective, from her expertise, from my nerdom, because I'm not an expert in folklore, but I'm a nerd and I love folklore. And I wanted to pay her not only for what she was going to tangibly create for the zine, but also for her brilliance and her time. And it's important for us to be able to do that. While we are engaged in liberatory praxis and ethos around body sovereignty, around the way our body changes, around bodily autonomy, around aging, around menopause, around gender and gender identity and sexual expression, we know that in this society, we need to be able to take care of ourselves. And being able to take care of yourself is not always easy when you're a creative or when you work for social justice or when you are an independent consultant. And so we're asking for folk to make an investment in the people who hold this space. Your investment in the Black Girls Guide allows us to continue to broaden out the voices that we're able to curate, the stories we're able to offer to the public, the healing modality that we have invested in and through storytelling, and our ability to engage in advocacy and policy change work that we know is critical grist for the mill for the ways that our Black bodies need to be held from the beginning of our lives until the very end. So I am asking you to consider what type of investment you'd be willing to make in our team and in the work that we do. And I'm also asking you to consider sharing. If you decide to give, share it with a friend and say, listen, there's a sister who's doing some amazing work. Now, look, I want to say something. There have been a few friends who've been very honest with me about how hard it is to engage with our platform because of where they are on their own journey around menopause and aging. I get that. I really do. I think that's one of the additional reasons why I feel so important to have this conversation, because we're really trying to open the space for someone to feel like they can be engaged in whether it's introspection, personally on a personal journey, or find community. But either way, I want folk to feel held. And so even for those folk, I want to offer you an opportunity to consider to support our work, because this is work for you as well. Whether you're ready to receive it yet or not, we're ready for you when you are. So short and sweet message. I hope that if you've been a $5 a month donor, $10, $15, $25 a month, you'll consider increasing that. If you know of funders that fund gender equity, who fund reproductive justice, who fund storytelling and creative work, please feel free to share our platform. And if this year is not the year that you feel like you can make a financial investment in our work, please send us all the good vibes, all the good creative vibes that we continue to creatively, thoughtfully, spiritually create this container that can hold all of our stories. Okay? All right. Thanks for listening.